And now the news in detail, where Nigeria's two largest labor unions have suspended an indefinite strike that was due to start on Tuesday to demand higher wages to help offset the cost of living crisis. Following hours of deliberations between the unions and the government on Monday night in Abuja, the capital, the unions say a deal was signed that would meet their demands within 30 days. On Sunday, President Bola Tinubu announced a temporary wage increase of about 25,000 naira per month for the next 6 months for lower paid workers. Now joining me on the news is Public Affairs Analyst Wale Ogunade. Hello Wale, thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, fine, thank you. All right,
so
Wale, yes, thank you so much for joining us, yes. All right, so what do you think or what do you make of the NLC and TUC calling off its planned indefinite strike? Is it the right step in the right direction?
Well, to me, it's the right step in the right direction. And why will I say that? The essence of the strike was for them to press in for their demands and to pressure government into taking steps towards their demands. And government has done that in terms of taking steps, making announcements, meeting them in the various demands that they have made, either halfway or full ways, both depending on how anybody will see it. But that's not my problem. My problem is about now implementation. I hope government will be sincere, because to me, they want to avert the strike. They will say, yes, we want. Anything you want us to do, they will bring out their agreement. They will allow peace to reign. But fortunately, Labour has given a 30-day window within which to see the sincerity of government in this regard. And I hope government will take advantage of this and now ensure that indeed all those steps and all the things that they have agreed upon are implemented so that we'll have peace in this country. And to all intents and purposes, the labor demands are right and justified. The fuel subsidy really, if anything at all, has really eaten.
Mr. Ogunade, can you hear me?
For every two days to fuel my car. And that's not something that is palatable. And the only way out is if government can really see and work quickly on the terms of the agreement, including working on the refinery so that to stop import of refined petroleum products. And to me, it is something that is doable, taking into consideration that government has really appointed people into offices who are who can do the job. And to me, they should get cracking and deliver.
All right, Mr. Ogunade, I loved how you talked about implementation. You know, this is one issue that a lot of people have, problems with when it comes to government and their policies and implementation. And we hope, the government is actually held accountable for that. But mixed reactions have actually trailed the development, this particular development of 35,000 naira, with some Nigerians not happy about it. But do you think this will make the organized labor further lose what is left of their credibility in the eyes of Nigerians?
No, if anything at all, this set of labor leaders have really proved that they are good bargainers and, of course, they are very strong negotiators. You agree with me, there are several times that the government labor will take up a mantle, want to go to the trenches, and they will be dallying with the government, and at the end of the day, the strike will come up and people will suffer. And of course, even labor will now be forced to call up the strike without any result. But these ones, they have tried, they have gotten something. To me, is a way forward, is a plus, and is an achievement. All I will advise them to do is to push forward, ensure that they too, because part of the agreement is that there will be a team that will be set up between government, labor, and other civil society members to ensure the implementation of this agreement. And that's what they should do. Ensure that this agreement is implemented. Where they will now be relevant to the people is that they will now put every step that they take into public domain. for people to follow. That's the people. Once the people follow and know that, yes, they have not gone to sleep, then everything will be okay. Because, in Nigeria, there is this settlement issue that, yes, the labor leaders have been settled, so they decide to abandon and trade off the interests of the people. Once this is out of it, then definitely you can be sure that the people will continue to regard and respect labor in all its activities. So to me, labor, well, the ball is in the ball is in the court of labor. But I don't think they will want to lose face because it is a milestone that they've gotten to now, and I don't think they will want to lose face. So the little advice I've given them, I hope they will work on it, ensure that they engage government regularly, so as to meet up with the terms of the agreement entered into.
We'll sincerely hope, there'll be no issues going forward. But on the other hand, some are of the opinion that picketing and strike actions doesn't really bring the desired results in Nigeria, and negotiation is always the best approach. Now, what do you make of this?
Yes, negotiation. I mean, after the World War, you have to Georgia. So they have come now to Georgia. And of course, after Georgiaing, they have gotten some results in terms of concrete terms that they have put pen to paper. And of course, the me, really, and I like that idea that they will now take it to the National Industrial Court for it to be made a judgment of the court. And once it's made a judgment of the court, I know that definitely that will now move things further. Without being a spokesman for the government, I want to believe that government will not want to lose its face too. You didn't ask me that. I know government will not want to lose its face too, because the government, this policy that government has introduced is really biting and dealing with everyone, both corporate and individual. So if government quickly take advantage of these negotiated terms, settle it in terms of implementing it, the government too will not lose face in the sight of the people. People will say that, yes, one, it is a honest government. Two, it is a government that one can rely on. Three, it is a government that really has the feeling of the people at mind. And three, that government is not taking the people for a ride, but rather wants the country to be better. And with that, I know that both labor and government will now have the confidence of the people.
All right, Mr. Ogunade. Now let's take, just before we wrap up, now in your opinion, what should be the best line of action for labor when negotiation fails?
No. Well, I don't think negotiation will fail, but if the negotiation fails, then definitely we'll go back to the trenches. Labor will go back to the trenches. The strike machinery will be put in place. And of course, the country will come to a halt. And I don't want that. It's not in anybody's interest. Staying at home, children will suffer, the aged will suffer, the sick will suffer. Even those who are agile too will suffer. There are some of us that are wired to be always on the move. Once there is nowhere to go, we'll begin to play pranks, and that pranks may not be in our interest. And don't forget, how do I call it now? Idle hand is the devil's workshop. And of course, a lot of criminality will be taking place, which I don't think should happen. So to me, I won't advise labor to look at that option of going back to strike if government fails. And government, I really want them not to fail so that they will not lose their face before the people.
Indeed, there's no telling what, if negotiation fails, what it will actually do to the impact it will have, on the economy. But thank you so much, Public Affairs Analyst Wale Ogunade, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and to God be the glory.